Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast, and welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Tunnel Stories Thread. Stories from the underground. Tunnels, mines, caves, sewers, etc. Greentexts are welcome. They can be your own personal experiences, or just stories you've heard around before. Got anything good?
Alright X, I don't normally post here, but a few days ago I experienced something that you can experience for yourselves. It was the most scared I've ever been. I actually broke down into tears and tried to knock myself out during the experience. I'm still scared and want to start seeing a therapist. Be in Sydney. I'm having dinner with my girlfriend and family at this really nice Chinese restaurant. We'll post a street view link at the end of the story so you can go there if you want. Waiting for food. GF is going through my texts for whatever reason. Decide to go to the bathroom. Ask the waitress. She says that there is a bathroom outside the shop in this edgy arcade thing outside the back. Leave. Locate toilets. Use the facilities. Getting ready to go when I hear knocking. The fuck was that? Go towards the back of the bathroom. The service door is banging. Spooky. Open door. Look inside. Fucking huge corridor. Pitch black. Low. Decide to go inside just to see if there is anything on the other side of the door. Walk in. Click. Door locks behind me. Are you fucking serious? Begin to reach for the phone only to remember my girlfriend has it. I have a blue flame lighter. They don't give off light. Holy fuck, I'm so dead. Begin smacking on the door. Shouting. Continue to do that for 20 plus minutes. Tired as fuck. The only light I have is a tiny slither coming from underneath the door. I'm assuming the bathroom lights turn off when no one is inside for a certain amount of time. Click. No light. Start crying. Fucking hell, this is bad. Gif. Wind is blowing through the tunnel and I'm really cold because my jacket was left on my chair in the restaurant. Stop crying after about a minute and start to move towards the wind because logic says there must be if there's wind coming from that direction. Footsteps are echoing, scaring the fuck out of me. Start noticing a tiny red light at the end of the hallway, like a LED. Start moving quickly towards it. Trip on a pole sticking out of the really poor concrete walls. I didn't see a whole lot of them because of the fact that I went through the door as soon as I opened it. But they were rough concrete, almost like the kind they use for foundations. Hands are cut. Fucking hell, this stings. Seriousness of the situation starts to dawn on me. What if I die in here? Move slowly towards the red light. When I got there, I found two large fans. They were being spun by the wind coming in from another vent, and they were not powered, hence the reason I didn't hear them. And the lead was literally in lead, a circuit in a 9V battery. What the fuck, man? Obviously someone had been in here recently. Turn around only to notice the hallway light up. Somebody opened the fucking door. Creaky door noise. Who is there? I'm injured. The door closes and slams. Someone walked into the hallway. He started laughing. Fucking laughing. I started silently sobbing. This is fucking nightmare fuel. Try to muster up all of my courage. Who the fuck are you? I could hear the fear in my voice. Hearing myself scared like that tormented me. It was as if my body was scared, as well as my mind. I felt helpless as fuck. Nobody could help me. It's the fucking dead end of a corridor no wider than 1 meter. Footsteps. Fuck no. The footsteps continue for about 3 minutes. I'm sitting there, in a fetal position, crying silently when suddenly, I could hear someone screaming for me to get out. He was right fucking next to me. I panic, choking on my own tears. I couldn't fucking handle it. All out sobbing at this point. He puts his hand on my back. Fucking no. I can't actually fucking take this. Pick up a small rock, about the size of my fist. Start bludgeoning my own head. Whatever this fuck does, I won't be conscious for it. He starts laughing again, hitting super fucking hard at this point. I'm surprised I'm still not unconscious. Starting to black out. Hitting softens. Rather than blacking out, I just stayed there, completely sedated. Everything is blurry. I can still faintly hear him laughing. His voice was deep as fuck. Feel him take my wallet and shoes. He takes out what I presume was a knife and presses it hard up against my neck. Fuck, this is it. Actually too sedated to care at this point. Starting to accept death. He presses harder, then pulls the knife away. Another time, he says while laughing. This fuck was toying with me. Footsteps getting softer. Hear doors open and close. I think it's over. Go to sleep. Get woken up a while later by a serviceman. He asks me if I'm okay and escorts me out. Seeing the bathroom again was bliss. Finally out of there. Look at my hands. Fucking shredded. Face is covered in blood and I look like shit. He asked me about what I was doing in there. Tell him what happened.
Oh yeah, there is a guy that people say squats in there, but I've never seen him come out of the bathroom.
What do you mean? He takes me to a shitty little security room with a tiny ass monitor. Ask to see last night's surveillance footage. Watch it. See me walking into the bathroom. Fast forward. See my girlfriend's dad walk in and walk out a minute later. Girlfriend is sobbing on his shoulder. See them walk back to the restaurant. No one else besides the serviceman goes into the bathroom, and he comes out with me about 2 minutes later. What the fuck? Does he live in the fucking bathroom?
We don't know. I think he lives in the tunnels.
But he came in through the door and cornered me and then left through the same door. The guy thinks I'm crazy at this point. Ask to use his phone. Call my girlfriend. Tell her story. She picks me up and I go home and clean up my hands. I haven't left the house. I've just sat here and thought about it for a while. Something about that tunnel man. Absolute horror. The fact that he left and wasn't seen on the surveillance footage scared me the most. Go there if you want. Ask questions if you want to. I don't care anymore. I met a general contractor one day that told me that there were tunnel people living in a connection of sewers and prohibition tunnels under downtown Vancouver, Washington. He said that he stumbled upon them when working in the basement of a historic movie theater. He found an entrance to the tunnels under the stage. He says that there are crude wood buildings down there, and that the tunnel people are very hostile. They're like hills that have ICE status, homeless people that have been living down there since after Prohibition. He offered to take me down there and said we would need shotguns. Never took him up on the offer. Since hearing the story, several people downtown have confirmed that there are in fact tunnels. The only alleged entrance I've seen is a wood-covered entrance facing the Columbia River next to the 5 Bridge. There's graffiti on it that just says entrance to hell.
Have this subway near home. Hang around it when I was about 13 with some friends. Has a really weird layout because the pedestrian walkway leading to the entrance is right by a road that would lead to a vehicle entrance. But when you reach the pedestrian entrance, the road entrance is just a brick wall. When you come out at the other side, there's a sharp 90-degree turn for pedestrians to go back up to ground level, but nowhere a vehicle could possibly go even if the entrance wasn't bricked up. It's just a meadow that's level with the road. Anyway, like I say, hang around this place with 3 friends, on the meadow side. Friend goes for a piss one day. Shouts that he's found something. Earth has come away from the side of the subway where the vehicle part is, and there's like a big railway sleeper running along it, partly exposed by the dirt and the rest of it still covered. It's all rotted, and when he accidentally stood on it he broke a chunk off. Try to look inside. It's a big open space behind the bricked up wall that runs the length of the subway. Can't really see what's inside because it's too dark. Curiosity gets the better of us. Pool our resources. Have like £5. Go into town that's only a few minutes away. Buy a shitty torch for £3 and a pack of batteries. Get back to opening. Shine the torch inside. It's too shit to really illuminate much. Convince him that he should go in. Tight as fuck squeeze even for a 13-year-old, but he gets inside. Says there's lots of junk piled up against the opening. Gives a running commentary on what he can see. Then it goes quiet. Comes running back desperately trying to get out the opening. Pull him through. Says there's someone in there. Tell him to fuck off. He just got spooked. Arm comes out of the opening flailing around. Shit ourselves and run away. No idea how they got inside because one part was bricked up. The other side we just uncovered half an hour before. Somehow a man seemed to be living inside the whole time. Forgot to mention that the subway isn't there now, nor is the vehicle part. They filled all of it in to make a car park and a road crossing. Street view doesn't go far enough back to find a pic. It was the weirdest thing though. I still have no idea how he could possibly have gotten inside. Even if he'd slipped in through the opening when we were in town, it was far too tight for a fully grown man to get through. My mate was still a child and not a big lad, and even he struggled. One side of it was the subway wall for pedestrians and the other was a wall too. The only way in or out was through that opening. I still think about it when I pass by and wonder how the fuck he got in there, along with all of the junk.
Me, terrible sleep schedule. Will walk around for hours every night. Live in a city with a population of 200,000. Cops hate the homeless, so you can walk around downtown at 3 a.m. and go 45 minutes before even seeing a car, let alone a person. 20 minutes from my house I find a massive pitch-black man-made tunnel twice as big as the one in the related pic randomly sticking out of a hill. In a commercial area, the ground is dirt. Don't know this part of the city extremely well, but still shocked I never seen this before. Shine a flashlight that goes 30 feet, still total darkness. There is a fence at the entrance, so I can't go inside. Hear some weird noises in the distance coming from the tunnel. Sounds like foxes or some animal. Eventually I left. Come back the next day trying to find it again. Never have.
An almost identical thing happened to me and two friends when I was younger. I say me, but it was more my two friends. It didn't happen during the night, but I might as well tell it anyway. I've shared it before. Hang around in the local woodland we have. No one really uses it except us and some other kids who might drop by to get high, but we're there every day. Has these really steep sides that lead to a little stream at the bottom. We sit on the steep sides. One problem is that if it rains they get unbelievably slippy and muddy. Another is because they're so steep they're awkward to sit comfortably on. Friend decides one day that he'll dig a kind of seat into the earth and build a little roof with something for when it rains. Does, and it works perfectly. Few days later he asks if I'm going, but I tell him I'm not. He goes with friends instead. Later that night on based MSN he tells me about what happened. Says they got there and our roof, which was a big piece of perspex, was gone, and so was the shovel. Looks around and spots the shovel about 25 to 30 feet further along. Goes to retrieve it. Finds the perspex there too. Picks the perspex up and it's covering an opening into the side of the slope, like perfectly horizontal into the earth. Goes in a little way, it's big enough for him to walk in with his head ducked. Finds an old metal toolbox full of snack wrappers, some 2-liter bottles of water, and a hammer. Keeps going but gets spooked by a noise of movement at the other end and comes out. We both leave the woods. Tell him it's a good LARP. Send me pics of him inside of it, including the toolbox, entrance from the inside, and a pic he took into the darkness that goes so far back that the flash doesn't even illuminate the end. Asks if I want to check it out tomorrow. No question. I do. Go there. Can't find it. Eventually see where it's been sealed up with dirt, like when you dig a hole and fill it back in, you know where the hole was. Start trying to dig it out. It's like the whole tunnel has been completely filled in, not just a foot or so to cover the entrance up. Never work out how it was done without us seeing them, given how close we were to it and how often we were there. Nor how we had never seen it before because we used to look around the area every day. Nor where the fuck all of the dirt went to that was dug out. Nor how it was filled back in literally every night. We moved to a different part of the woods after that. It's an odd sort of place. Every generation I've ever known has hung around them at some point and they've all had strange experiences there.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Alright. Being a longtime lurker here on this site, since maybe 2010, I've decided to share with you some stories. They're not really paranormal but still stuck with me as disturbing. The first one happened. I think about 2011 or 2012, I don't remember exactly. Be a kid back in early 2010s, around 12 at the time. I live in the urban center of the capital city in my Eastern European country, so growing up meant I was up to mischief, nothing too hoodish, but at the time I enjoyed drawing graffiti. There was a neighborhood that stretched around the bank of the river passing through the middle of the city where I grew up and started my artistic and illegal endeavors. At the end of said neighborhood was a fenced-off semi-abandoned factory complex. People still used the dock for their boats, but the buildings around were abandoned. Amongst the abandoned buildings was also a tunnel you could go in that wasn't really long and ended abruptly after a 2-minute walk. Me and a friend started drawing our very first graffiti there. After a while we decide it's enough for the day and we head back out. As we approached the exit, my friend was looking around while I looked straight ahead. Right in front of us a guy abruptly jumps, then is stopped halfway by a strong rope tied around his neck. Lets out the most outlandish noise I've heard in my life. The guy was a fat fuck, so he died instantly as his rope stopped. His whole spine snapped along its length in a cacophony of broken bones. The neck looked way longer than it should have. Just swayed a bit there, maybe 2 meters in front of me, lifeless. Stand there in shock, call the cops and give out a small statement. Never really heard anything about the guy after that and wasn't interested in finding out his story. I'll try to find the old article about it, but it's gonna be difficult because the last time I tried it a year or 2 ago it was overshadowed by a more recent self-end at the very same place.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more green texts will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.
Remember that all videos have been archived on the Odyssey page.